Hello everybody, this is Lee from Normandy Atelier. Today I want to continue with my painting collection because I feel like I want this channel to be all about painting in general. That brings me so much joy, even if sometimes I feel like I'm talking to the void, nobody is watching, but doesn't matter. It's just about I don't have people in my life to share my art with in general, and people who are interested in art, and I want to talk about what I am doing and to grow and to learn more and to share this journey with you. It's something that brings me happiness, and today I'm going to show you some of the painting that I did, and they have one theme in general, which is like animal theme. They are collection of like animals in nature, but they are not exactly like characters like I do with my frogs collection or frogs paintings, or I don't know, even Pokemon or something like that, because those other paintings are more like they are telling a story, or they are telling a story of a character, which is like, for example, the frog who is hiking, or a Pokemon in Halloween scene, whatever. It doesn't matter. But here, they are just some kind of animals in nature, and I have been doing that for a few years now. The first painting is this one. I did this in 2022 when I was starting to learn to paint, and it's just some birds. I think they are geese or ducks who are just flying away in the river in this autumn scene. This is from the YouTube channel Michelle the Painter. She is technically my art teacher. I didn't understand many things at that time, and this is one of the first painting I did from her tutorials. And I think it shows it's not exactly perfect. What strikes me about it is the autumn scene, because autumn and fall is my all-time favorite season of the year. I like it so much. It's cool. There are some breeze. There is no allergy. The beautiful color, the blue juice, everything about it. And at that time, I was stuck in my old apartment that I hated, and I couldn't move. It was so complicated to move. So when I saw this, I thought about liberty, and I thought about freedom, and those birds have the ability to move and to change where they are, and I couldn't. And this is why I wanted to paint this one. And at that time, I was just struggling with many things, like the depth. I have like achieved some depth in this scene, I believe, but not fully as my other painting, because I did this kind of scene again later in life. Like an autumn scene with body of water or something like that. I did that later. But yeah, this was one of my first attempt to do that, with like lots of colors, with like, and for me, I thought, oh, then the landscape will be easy, but the bird will be really, really hard to do, because they are like flying objects, like they are animals, like. But it was the opposite, actually. The landscape itself is really hard to achieve. And I think that like I did the reflection, it was fine, like lots of impressionistic style, and I still love this painting. I have it in the kitchen, but like you can see it here, for example. If we look to the reflection or the ripples in the water because of the bird moving, I feel like I am having the ripples extreme, and so much, like to the degree that it's almost over the water, not in the water itself, which is something that I learned to do later. And at the time, I was using lots of paint, and because I didn't understand anything about painting, I was just trying to paint without understanding the basics, and without understanding the difference between brushes and what every brush is doing or can do, and what the difference between body paint, and many technical details like that. And although I was doing a tutorial, it took me a few hours to do that. All that shows, but it shows at the same time that my life for impressionistic style, I was feeling more comfortable with it. And because of this painting and few others at the time, I started to lean more about this style. It's representational. It doesn't need, I started to understand art doesn't need to be realistic, and it doesn't need to be abstract as well. There are many other different ways to express ourselves when it comes to painting. And I was like, because I live in Normandy like for a few years now, it's my home, like I started seeing Claude Monet's paintings and impressionistic movement that, like, it's historical, of course, but still, like, it had a huge impact on me. The second painting, actually, I don't have. It was a gift for a friend. At that time, I will have a photo of it here. And it's a horse who is running on the beach. My friend has horses, he likes horses, and I wanted to make this painting. It's from Michel the Painter YouTube channel. Oh my god, this painting was a nightmare to do. It was 2022 or early 2023. At the time, I was still learning the basics, and I don't know why I thought I can paint such complicated things like horses. And I thought it's going to be a challenge. I knew that from the beginning, and I did it on an A3 size canvas. And I thought, oh, it's smaller, it will be fine. And I struggled a lot. It shows all over the place. And the most thing that I struggled about, I can remember, is the depth of the paintings and the atmosphere and everything. Because the original painting doesn't exactly look like this. For me, everything looked blue. The horizon line, the difference between the sky and the ocean, how to add clouds, and the horse itself. The horse was good. I believe it was a good attempt to paint a horse, and I did a horse later, all by myself. But at the time, it was a struggle. But I wanted so much to give that painting for my friend, and I did, and he was so happy about it. And I think that is art. Art, like, doesn't need to be perfect. It's a journey about how to express ourselves, and it's about how we feel. Like, do we feel happy about it? Do we feel sad? Does it bleed our eyes? Does it not? The third painting I did, it was in 2023. I remember that because I did it in this apartment. When I moved, I was really sick. I painted this in 2023, and I just wanted to paint something calm and something, I don't know, at that point of my life, I was really in pain, and I just wanted something calm. And that scene, again, it's from Michel the Painter YouTube channel. It's a tutorial, and I was feeling more comfortable with my painting at the time. Although, like, it has been maybe almost 1 year since I started painting in 2022, but a little bit more comfortable with paint, with brush strokes. I started to understand, oh, I like this brush, I don't like this one. For example, I like this paint, I don't like this one. What to do with it, how to thin the paint with water, for example, etc., etc. Many other details like that. And yeah, I saw this one and I thought, yeah, I'm going to try it. I have no idea what this bird is. I know nothing about birds, to be honest. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't think we have those kind of birds in Normandy. I'm not sure. I feel like the impressionistic style is all over the place here, in a good way, of course, because the water, the light of it, I like that the light is here. We see the reflection of the light, but not the light source. The boat, especially the sand and the grass, they are very impressionistic. And the boat itself, because I didn't sit here and I didn't draw every single grain of woods here. No, it was just a way to paint something representational of the material and of the boat and the oar, everything. And I like it a lot. I think this is one of the calmest painting I did. It's really nice. I have it on my living room on a shelf over the TV. I like the colors. I like the effects. I was starting to understand more what I want to paint and what I like to paint. Everything here feels contained, and contained is the word, because it's the subject matter itself is small. Everything here is it's not a large landscape. It's like a photograph, and I like that about it so much. I like how I played with light and shadows. That was a great lesson, how to do all that kind of effects on the water, on the birds, on the boat, on the grass, on the floor, everywhere. Light became particle of light, as Madonna says. It's impressionism. This is why I like it. So the next painting I don't have. I wanted at that time to paint cows of Normandy, and I was thinking about it, and it was 2024, I believe. And I did two paintings. The first one is this one. I gave this one to my friend in Germany, my ex-friend in Germany, ex-toxic friend in Germany. Doesn't matter. I cut my relationship with all these toxic people that I had in my life, although they used to be my best friends and my chosen family. It doesn't matter. Yep. And I gave it to him, and I regret that now, because nobody deserves that beautiful painting of a cow in Normandy. And that doesn't matter. The inspiration of this painting, I do lots of hiking, and there are lots and lots and lots of farms and fields and cows and animals in Normandy, and cows are so cute and so beautiful here. And I just wanted to paint a cow in Normandy because I see it all the time. I did a little bit of a sketch. I did some research online to see how, not to paint a cow, but how a cow looks like, because I don't know how, I am very bad at drawing. So I showed this scene with a river, because there are the Seine here. I walk near it all the time. There are cows there all the time. There is the house, the Normandy style, with the beams and the wood texture and nature, and I wanted to have a sunny day and it to be just radiating with light, because I felt like I am hiking, and I wanted the cow to just look on the camera itself, and it was really hard to paint the feet or hoofs, I don't know, the feet of the animal. So I tried to add lots of texture and lots of grass all around it. And I kept it very impressionistic, because painting in Normandy for me means impressionism. This is where I was exposed to this style for the first time ever in my life. I never understand anything about it before, and it was some kind of an homage to that, and to me also, to my living here, because I am happy here. The next painting is again a painting of a cow in Normandy. I don't know if it's Normandy, because we don't have really, as you see, we don't have mountains in Normandy. We have cliffs and hills, but we don't have mountains. But it didn't matter for me. Here I wanted to paint this scene because it felt cozy. It felt different from the other one, because sometimes I will walk, I will hike, and I will see all these beautiful old farms and all this amazing houses, and their farms and their gardens feels like part of the forest, if that makes any sense. And I just wanted to feel this protected place, this contained place. This is why I added the cliffs, and I thought, oh, there are cliffs and some kind of high elevation near the ocean or near the sea in Normandy, in Etretat, for example. And I went there. It was really beautiful, but there was no cows. And I thought, yeah, this could work with a stream of water. I didn't want to have the river, but we have lots of streams that comes from the rivers sometimes. And I was there is not only one cow. It's one cow doesn't even look to the camera. It doesn't bother. It's just existing in this nature. There is this house or this farm, Normandy style. I added all this texture and stones, and the rest of the cows in the distance. I was playing with texture, and I was playing with perspective. Something I always struggle with is perspective. I think I managed to do it in a good way. I really like this painting, and it was for my other friend in Germany. I didn't cut my relationship with him. He is nice. He's a nice person. The next painting is a very huge painting. This is A2 painting of a peacock. For me, this is a masterpiece. If you told me in 2022 and before that one day I will paint this, I will say you are crazy. Because for me, this is a masterpiece. Not because I did it, not because I painted it. This is not an original painting. This is from Michel the painter again. Even if it's a tutorial and somebody is teaching me what to do, I couldn't believe that I painted this. This is just majestic. There is something nostalgic about it. The bird is just there, existing without bothering, but it feels, I don't know, it's from an old storybook or something. It's very impressionistic when it comes to the forest or where he is, the depth of the colors, the light where it's coming from, the leaves, the touch of autumn all over the place, the leaves here and there. Everything is impressionism, but the bird himself, yes, it's very loose and impressionistic, but it has some kind of realism to it. And this is what I like. This is what I started to like when I started to paint more and more. It's just having these kind of characters or subjects. They have touch of realism to them, but not fully. They have a touch also of impressionism to them, but not fully. It's something between the two worlds. I have it here in my bedroom. Every day I see it. I am going to paint more peacocks myself without any tutorials soon. That would be a challenge because I don't know, but I'm excited about it. And for me, yes, this painting, you can see the impressionistic style on the light here, on the neck, on the feathers. I like the depth of them. You can see the layers. And here, like at this time, I was starting to understand more about paint. Like you can, like here, those like all lines of the trees, branches are very thin. I like before that I couldn't do that. Like that was like always like my lines used to be very very thick. Even if I wanted to make something thin, I couldn't because I didn't understand the difference between the veins. Even the woods here, like very impressionistic with adding all the light effects and the grains and everything like that. For me, it was a great lesson on depth, on building a character, and on layering. Right? I had so many layering and how to be patient and to trust the process and adding layer after layer and moving from dark to light to lighter and all those kind of like it was a great lesson and I still love it till today, of course. The next painting is, I believe this is the last tutorial I have ever done, and it's just a swan. I did that in 2024. At the time I was doing lots of hiking and I was seeing lots of swans all over the place and in the river, and I wanted to paint one, and I don't know, by chance or it was great that Michel the painter did this painting, and I immediately was captivated for two reasons. First, this one. Second, it's very similar scene to the birds who are flying that the first painting of today. It's very similar scene, and I wanted to see, did I progress, did I not progress, and like painting all this atmosphere and adding depth to the trees, especially to the trees and to the reflection and the sky. And I think I did. Like there is a huge difference between those trees and the other trees. Those feels like trees, and I can see every single tree and the trees behind them and trees behind that. I can see the depths of the forest, I can see the depths of the layering and the effects on the light on the sky, especially like for example here, where the light is coming from, the effects on the clouds, and especially the reflection. The reflection for me, the best thing about this painting, it's so alive and it's so smooth and it's so painterly. And at the end I added the bird. For me this painting is like a summary of where I was and where I am right now, because like art for me is a journey and I am not an artist by nature. I'm trying to paint more because it brings me joy and happiness. I think I succeed in doing all those kind of things. I love the effects of again, it's like the same thing on the peacock. It's like building layers over layers over layers and not being afraid of adding more layers to it. Even if you are, oh, that color is so nice, but if I added more to it, it will be nicer. It's not like that exactly, but it's about controlling also the paint and how much I am using, because before I used to have so much paint on my brushes. I didn't understand that I need to, for example, in some places I needed to have less paint in order to control it and have the effect that I am seeing or the effect that I'm having in my head. Here, I was starting to say, oh, I need to use like different brushes. I need to do, for example, less amount of paint on the brush itself in order to achieve a specific effect. The next painting is from 2025. It's a fox. I was trying to use lots of the paint that I normally don't use, because when I started to paint, I bought a large box of like different colors, and some of them, like for example, neon green and fluorescent orange, and I don't know what else. And I was trying to use all these kind of colors that I don't normally use in this scene. And I did something similar to this one before from a tutorial, like a forest scene like this, but it was a ghost with an umbrella. And I was thinking myself, can I do the same effect? Can I achieve something similar? Not exactly the same, but without a tutorial. And I think I did. And I wanted to make a fox, but I made him a little bit larger. It's very large comparing to the trees, to the forest around him. I did that intentionally. I wanted him to be like this figure, like a mystical figure, like the guardian of this forest, you know. I really loved the effect of the neon green on the mushrooms, like illuminating the whole scene. I added all these green effects on the trees and on the moon, on the forest behind him, on the road, on the fox himself. That was really interesting to me, because normally I will do some kind of like natural tones and adding the same color but lighter to add the effect of light, and adding the same color but darker to add shadows. Here I was doing something completely different. Same idea but different, with different colors, just to add the illumination. You can see the whole impressionistic style that I started to love with time, like the trees, behind the trees here, the fox itself, the tail, the foreground. It's very impressionistic to me. The effects on the water, on the reflection, all that kind of things. The next painting, I did this at the end of last year, at the end of 2025, and it's a horse. Again, I wanted to make a horse for my friend again. He loves horses. He has lots of horses, and I just wanted to give him this one. I'm going to give him this one soon when I see him. I just wanted to paint with all those beautiful colors. I was thinking about autumn and fall and about hiking in Normandy, because I haven't hiked for a few months now because I'm having some pain on my feet. Here I feel like this is one of the best paintings I did, because I was really in control about everything, the effects of the colors. It's very impressionistic, but it feels realistic at the same time. You can see the difference between the floor that I have here, for example, the foreground, and other painting that I did before. It's layered with from darker tones and lighter tones, and the shape of the elements themselves, like this reads like leaves to me, and it's not something random. Also the horse itself, like this is the second time I do a horse, and I felt like, yes, I can paint a horse myself without guidance. The effects on the water, how I blended all the colors together, because before it used to be very streaky, for example, and not blended enough. The effects on the rocks, how to build depth in the scene, how to add lights, effects, how to add shadows, how to build the bushes, because I have always struggled with that. It used to be really flat for some reason. Maybe it's just coming from practice more and more with the scene, and maybe it's about the mood itself, because sometimes I feel like even now I will paint something and it will feel flat, because at that day everything will, I will paint when I'm in a bad mood, or I am not feeling good, or something like that. The last painting is a cat. I love cats so much. And it was snowing a few weeks ago. I did this in 2026. I rarely do indoor scenes. I don't know why. They are fun to do, and I hate snow. And I was telling myself I want to paint snow because it's snowing, and I was searching about all these ideas online. I knew I wanted to find inspiration, and all the painting about snow outside felt depressing to me. And I saw, even Michel the painter did snowman paintings, and snowing scenes and stuff like that, and I didn't want to paint them. It doesn't feel me, and for me, when it's snow, it's better to stay inside. So I painted this cat. It's cozy inside, it's warm inside, and I have it in this orange color. First of all, orange cats are the best, but also because it feels warmer toward inside of the house, comparing to the cold, everything cold and blues and purples colors outside. And yeah, that was difference between the tones of the colors between the inside and the outside, to understand, to give a message, or to give information about, yes, she is safe, she is inside, there is some heating system, and she is enjoying a nap in the afternoon or something. I wanted to have some greenery and some life, because for me outside is dead. and inside there is life. And the fabric itself, and the materials here, adding shadows. Yeah, it's for me, this painting is all about the atmosphere. I wanted at the beginning to do the window very industrial. I love industrial styles so much in interior design. I wanted to have industrial feel like metal, but I opted to do it in like almost rustic and countryside kind of an effect on the window, like it's wood, it's not metal, because I felt, oh, it's a cat in a house in Normandy. This painting told me something about myself, like I need to paint something that feels true to me, not to other people. Yes, I don't enjoy snow. I don't need to paint snow just because, yeah, people do that. I don't need to. And if I'm going to paint snow, I'm going to paint it my way from the inside, for example. And I think this is something that started to happen because from 2024, I stopped doing tutorials. Everything became art that I am trying to do. Sometimes I will do sketches. I'm very bad at drawing sketches. And I feel like I'm going to paint what I want, not what other people are doing. Does that make any sense? I don't know. I feel like I have some of the techniques that can allow me to paint something like this with the impressionistic style and with like touch of realism, but not really. The realism for me comes from where the object is, where the light is coming from, and where the shadows are going to be, and that's it. Everything else I do it in a very impressionistic way because I don't need to take a photo of the subject matter. I don't want to paint that. For me, doing this in a very painterly way makes me really happy. I think I'm continuing to do more of those kind of ideas with time. I really want to paint more peacocks this year, maybe in the next few weeks or so, because most of my paintings now, I feel like I'm doing lots of landscapes for some reason. Maybe because I'm not able to walk outside, but lots of landscapes, lots of frogs paintings. Again, doing hiking. Yeah, I feel like I really want to do peacocks and other subjects that I did in the past from tutorials, but I want to make them myself to see how did I grow as an artist, how did I change, did I not, did I learn something from those like lessons that I had or not. Yeah, I think this is going to be 2026 for me. I'm not sure. We'll see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your opinions and like your feedbacks, because I feel like I want to learn more. Maybe you have some kind of noticed something that I didn't notice. You have a comment about one of these paintings, about maybe all of them. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you want, and subscribe. We can continue this journey about art, talking about like painting all the time. And maybe I'm going to paint on camera soon. I'm not sure. I tried it. It was fun. But I didn't post that. And I hope to see you again in another video. Bye, everybody.